Am I the a-hole for basically going no contact with my daughter after she betrayed me? Plus update. Original post. For some background, I uploaded a more in-depth post on my page about what occurred, but basically my wife cheated on me with her coworker and she begged for my forgiveness. So I accepted, but I've been secretly cheating on her as a type of revenge/closure that ended up becoming an addiction. I know, I'm an idiot. I will keep it short as possible, but basically a couple days ago, my daughter, just out of the blue, confessed about her mother cheating on me as she couldn't handle the guilt. She told me for the past 5 years that she has been aiding her mother in cheating on me in exchange for gifts. She also confessed that she knew that my wife has been in affairs with 6 guys and was currently in contact with her coworker, and that her old phone her mother bought her was the device my wife used to cheat on me, and she was the one who was supposed to hide it away from me and delete the conversation. She also purposely hid the phone beneath my wife's pillow so I would discover the affair. At this moment, I snapped. I realized it was her along who put the phone under my pillow and unlocked the passcode. She was the one who helped hide the infidelity, and I was destroyed. I worsened this hole by copying my wife's actions, and now I realized my daughter betrayed and masterminded the affair along with my wife. I may have snapped at my daughter, but I told her I knew about the affair this whole time, and I thought her mother changed after she begged and told me she cut contact with her coworker. But that was a lie as well, and I told her, "You mean nothing to me," and a bunch of other stuff about her mother, which I may regret, but it was spur of the moment. Then I went to my car and had a long drive. My son called me and asked me what happened, and I explained what his mother and sister did to me for 5 years. He broke down, and I told him I will look for an apartment for my wife and his sister, as there is no way in hell I will give up my house. My wife and daughter have been blowing up my phone begging for a chance, but screw that. Anyway, would I be the a-hole for basically going no contact with my daughter for the rest of my life? I know she was being manipulated by her mother, but as she got older, she could have realized what her mother was doing was wrong. And I know she hid the phone under my pillow. I was an idiot, and I should have divorced her long ago. But I was too reluctant on paying child support as they are a couple years away from turning 18. But I won't make the same mistake. I will divorce her anyways. I apologize for my rant. Everyone sucks here. Your wife has been cheating and manipulating your daughter for years, and you are secretly cheating as a payback. At least you didn't manipulate your child to cover your tracks, but still. First, be the adult here and get your kids out of the middle of an adult situation. Second, remember your daughter was a vulnerable kid this whole time and was manipulated badly by someone she loves, looks up to, and trusts. Chances are, she didn't completely understand what was going on, or what she was really doing until she became more understanding of adult situations. Don't go no contact with a child who really didn't have a clue what was going on until recently. Third, get your daughter into therapy because this is going to screw her up for a long time. Fourth, cut the cheating now. Revenge cheating never does anyone any real good, and you're hurting and using the poor woman you're cheating with. She doesn't deserve that crap. Fifth, file for divorce. Done. Honestly, the best thing for the daughter might be going no contact with both of them. Seems like the kids got stuck with absolute dumpster fires for parents. Also, don't forget that his first action after all of this is to call his son and also enmesh him in his parents' intimate and relationship issues. Just a nightmare all around for these kids. Wow. So first, what your wife did to your daughter was abuse. If she's 16 now, and it's been going on for 5 or 6 years, that's not your daughter's fault. Some abusers make their victims feel like accomplices. It's super manipulative. I do understand why you're hurt, but please direct it to the right person. Your daughter risked her entire relationship with you to make sure you knew the truth. She loves you very much, I think. He's too selfish to realize how much this whole mess is hurting his daughter. She went against her abusive, manipulative mother so he would know the truth, and he just doesn't care about her or how much this is messing up her life. A typical a-hole parent who doesn't understand that you need to take care of your kids and actually protect them. I know she loves me, but I was an a-hole to ignore the fact that she confided to me for help. I messaged my son to tell her I still love her, but I just need time to process the information. And that what I said was purely just anger, and that I love her and we can talk in a couple days. It would have taken a hell of a lot of strength for your daughter to betray one parent to bring truth to the other. I had a suspicion and followed my dad and found out about his affair and had to tell my mother what I knew. It was gut-wrenching and all sorts of feelings were mixed up in it. I know I was about to devastate my mom and felt so much guilt. But I also knew she needed to know the truth. Even though she's helped her mother, she was still only a child. And you can't put the blame on her for her mother's actions and manipulation. Edit/update. I just want to clarify a few things. I apologize for saying she masterminded the affair along with my wife, but I forgot to mention this. It was my daughter's idea for her mother to hide her affair on her old phone. And secondly, some people in the comments claimed that I was verbally abusive towards my daughter, but that's not true. I was hurling insults towards my wife for lying to me, her parents, my parents, and her friends, that she cut contact with her coworker when she hasn't. She still spoke to him. I was feeling guilty for cheating on her as a type of payback. I was advised to stop, so I did, but I feel no regret now. Also, I need to clarify that my daughter is 18 years old. I have also spoken to her, and I told her I was wrong for saying that I will kick her out and saying she meant nothing to me. But I will need time to heal, but also she is not at fault, but her mother is. Second update. I will keep this as short as possible, but I'm leaving my son and daughter as I discovered my wife had an affair with my brother, and both my children aren't mine. I was very self-ending after finding out the truth. And I was close, but I was too scared at the same time. And I didn't want my wife to win. My wife overdosed because of this, my brother ran away, and I have relatives now living in the house taking care of the kids. My son and daughter deserve a good life, so I put the house ownership in my daughter's name, so she owns it now. I only owned the house, not my wife. And I gave my car to my son, so when he passes his license, he can drive it. And a portfolio for him to access when he's 21. I'm going back to my home country to live near my family and start all over. I admit I may be an a-hole for this, but no therapy can help me see that they are mine, but I hope they understand my point of view and hopefully have their future secured. I wrote letters to both of them as I'm too much of a coward to face them, stating that I'm leaving the country, but I will visit from time to time, and I hope they understand that their future is secured, and I will always cherish the memories I had with them. Edit. I just want to clarify some things. I don't know the condition of my wife. She overdosed on paracetamol, and her lungs were already messed up from her drinking problems. When I saw her in my house, she looked lifeless. Secondly, people asked what happened to my brother. I simply told my entire family that he was a cheater, and my whole family abandoned him. I also told my wife's parents, who she confessed to a previous affair, and they practically disowned her too. Her sister and her husband have been very supportive, and I will admit I will miss them too and their baby, but I must move on. Finally, my children won't be alone. I gave up my master's bedroom to my children's aunt, uncle, not my brother, and baby cousin. The kids have always had a good relationship with them. They deserve a good life, not worrying about bills, etc., so I left them a good check since they were very supportive throughout all of this. And their baby, who I will dearly miss, also deserves a good life. It sounds like Opie is planning to end himself, not leaving the country. I'm not saying this to be coy or make light of anything. But judging by his post history and the behavior he's listing, like giving away all his belongings, writing a note, etc., he is not planning on just leaving the country. It's both. He's going to leave this dream and return home. Whether or not he's ending himself literally or ending his life here, it's over for that life. I know because I've done it, and had to do it after I woke up from my own self-ending attempt. Nothing from here matters anymore, and he wants to be as far away from this life as he can and be alive. After a betrayal of that magnitude, it's nearly a reasonable choice of self-preservation compared to other choices. Either way, that him is gone. That he wants to start anew is a good sign, and it's hopefully for real. They deserve to be happy, and his actions on the way out don't make me think he is a bad person in the least. I truly feel for him. He posted a bit ago about being self-ending, and giving away all possessions is a major red flag as well. The post shaming this guy over it probably isn't helping either. With no idea how old the children are now, it's hard to really comment. If they are older, 15 plus, then perhaps you can explain to them what's happened, and that you are not coping with it at all well, and that you need to leave in order to protect your mental health and sanity. But make it clear you don't blame them, and that you aren't walking out on them, but on their mother and your brother. As you know, this is not their fault. And I'm guessing that even with all this emotional turmoil, you can't just switch off the love you have for them. And you will probably always feel that love, even if it's being blocked by the shock and hurt of being betrayed by both your wife and your brother right now. If they are younger, then it's a harder call because they probably won't understand and will feel abandoned by you. You are the father they have always known and loved. And whilst I can completely and utterly understand why you need to move away, It's harder to countenance being responsible for the level of hurt these kids will go through. You are not the a-hole, by the way, nor are the kids. This is all on your wife and your brother. My daughter is 18 and my son 16, and I have explained everything that has happened. You obviously love these kids, and you are their father. The fact that you are not their bio dad is out of your control and theirs. From what you shared, it sounds like you have shown your love and care, as you can in a moment, and are now doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. I hope you are able to heal and find new purpose in life. Even when it feels like the end, there is always something new waiting around the corner. Please keep the communication open between you and your kids. You need time away after learning what you have. It will be a shock to them also. They have only known one dad, and that is you. Be there for each other even if it is just by phone. Last update. For anyone who cares, I will try to keep this as short as possible, but first of all I want to clarify a few things. Firstly, I'm not entirely a good person. I'm a good and kind father to my children in their eyes, but I'm not. I confessed in a post that when I originally found out my soon-to-be ex-wife had an affair, I was an idiot, and instead of divorcing her, I copied her actions and cheated on her multiple times without her knowing. My excuse was because I didn't want to pay child support, but it was just a stupid excuse. However, I never stooped to the level of my wife to manipulate my daughter into assisting her affairs. I confessed to my children that I was no saint compared to my wife, and I did repeat her mistakes. Secondly, in a previous post, I did mention that my daughter betrayed me by assisting my cheating wife. I admit I overreacted with what I said, and I apologized to my daughter for being angry towards her, as she was just trying to come to me for help. But I just didn't help because when she told me her revelations about my wife, I just felt so dumbfounded, and I didn't think straight. Thirdly, one user mentioned that my son is living with relatives. But that is not true, he's back living in my old house. The same user also said I'm acting like my children don't exist when that isn't true. If I acted like they didn't exist, I wouldn't have given them anything, and I still talk to them every day at least for now. Fourthly, I don't know the condition of my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I don't care about her condition. She can rot for all I care. Finally, to the few people who are sending support, I thank you very much. Now on to the update. I apologize, this won't be long. Some commenter believe I was planning to end myself, and they are right. I mentioned in another post that I was self-harming, and I still am, and I admit I regret posting on here, as many people messaged me saying that I need to man up and be there for my children, and told me to off myself. I don't know if this subreddit allows pictures, but I showed an example, and there are many more. These people don't consider men's mental health and men's suicide rates, and just expect me to suck it up and be there for my children. But I can tell you for a fact it's not that easy. I'm not in a fit position to take care of them. The only reason I'm going back to my home country is to try and feel good and start fresh from all the toxicity. But it's scary. I have all these bad thoughts, and I keep thinking about how my whole life has been a lie. I have spoken to my children, and I admitted my mental health isn't good, but that I love them even if they aren't mine. I apologize for this rant. And to all the men, even if you have a tiny gut feeling that the children aren't yours, get a paternity test. It could have saved my life 18 years ago. Maybe see a therapist. You can really start over with all that mental crap going on. It's not gonna be erased when you leave the country. OP needs a lot more help than he can get from a bunch of internet folks. This is honestly far beyond what any of us can even judge him for. I think that spending some time in his home country while he gets himself together and gets therapy isn't a bad idea. He can't be a father in any which way if he isn't alive. I don't think it's right to abandon his kids, but he isn't well mentally, and he needs to take care of that. Don't focus on the people angry at you. The internet is a rage machine. Recognize that half the people agree with you. Get out however you need to. Get the reset you need in life, then figure out what you want. Play with puppies, spend your days in a quiet park, ignore it all. A firm moral foundation or feeling is what makes this all go. Do you know you're right about what you're doing and how you're feeling? It sounds like you do from some comments. Well, other people agree with you. You'll never get them all. But ignore the haters and do what you need to do to have some pleasure in life and get past things. Get a restart. At the end of the day, no matter what you do, they'll all just be angry on Reddit regardless. May as well give them the middle finger. Keep breathing. However, after reading about the whole mess, leaving is the most peaceful solution for everyone involved. The fact that the message insinuates that all men need to go is freaking wild LMAO. Typical edgy person thinking they're funny. I don't think she is trying to be funny. There are women who just can't see men in a positive light. Lot of misandrists in this sub, to be honest. I see it all the time. I think that there are a lot of middle-aged women on here, realizing that they are just one 23andMe swab away from losing their whole life. The anger that comes boiling out with the "that is your child, you are the only father the child has known" arguments are fueled by sheer terror. True that. I also feel like lots of women in this subreddit are extra tough on men in general, or at least on posters who put that they're men in the post. I've seen virtually identical posts where gender is included in one and not the other, and if it was a man in the former post, then the comments are way harsher.